Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today I'm going to be reviewing the other coffee from SEY. Last time when we reviewed the first one, this one here, we saw that this coffee gave me one of the most spectacular shots of espresso I have ever had. So look at the previous video if you want to see that. This thing just blew my mind. Now to report back as far as pour over, you know, it's a great coffee, but I can't say it was memorable. I can't say it was like super good. It is a great coffee, and the espresso I got from it was memorable. But you guys know that those perfect shots are far and in between. I might brew it another few times as espresso and I won't get that level of greatness, you know. But it just so happens that on the recording, in the very first shot I pulled with it, I just totally guessed at the grind size, and it turned out to be remarkable. So that being said, I do have to say that this coffee so far is winning the battle here between all of these. So now I have frozen a little bit of this one, and it will be in our end of the year extravaganza. So where I will be comparing all of my favorite coffees throughout the year. I have them frozen, and I'll do a comparison and come up with my favorite one. You guys know that I decided to do my favorite clean coffee from the wash coffees, and then my favorite kind of fermented or processed coffee. So I'll have two different coffees that I'll just say they were my best for the year. And then as espresso, well, I gotta say, from lighter roast, I don't think I've ever had anything better than this. It just, and again, a lot has to do with just coincidence. It just happened. But as a lighter roast coffee, this was just outrageous. It was so good. Now, you guys know that my overall preference when it comes to espresso is something a little bit more traditional, something a little bit more developed with those more traditional flavors like dark chocolate, molasses, burnt sugar, caramel, those type of flavor notes or tasty notes. But this was outrageous. From the lighter side of roasted coffees that I've had, which by now I've had a whole bunch of them, this could possibly be the best one ever. So this Ethiopian here. So check out last video. All right, so today we're gonna be trying this one. We'll see what we get from this one. Okay, what else should I report as to the coffees? From this one, I bought this one at Axum Coffee Roasters in Winter Garden, Florida. And I bought it for the tasting notes because it promised to be like the perfect tasting notes for me, at least for espresso. It was milk, chocolate, caramel, and honey. Yes, I did get a lot of that. I can't say they're wrong on writing these tasting notes here, but it just never elevated itself to the kind of greatness that I got from that SEY coffee. Now, that being said, I might pull another few more shots with it. I still have some left, and then I get the one perfect shot, and then the stars align, and it becomes like a superstar. So far, that hasn't happened. So today, before we get into it, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the coffee shops that we visited while in Chicago for the Coffee Expo. We did visit about three coffee shops. One of them happened to be in the hotel where we stayed. I'll see if I can find the picture and put a few pictures here as I'm talking to you guys so you could see a little bit of what the hotel looked like and that coffee shop. So as far as coffee shops go, it's just you run of the mill. It's beautiful though. It is beautiful. The hotel was beautiful. Finally arrived in Chicago. It's a little view of the room. The hotel is beautiful. Show you guys some pictures and clips, but it's a very pretty hotel. Right in the middle of it all. Let's see if we have any kind of view. We have a view of another bunch of buildings. Can't really see anything. More and more buildings. But can you see the street? Yeah, kind of. There you go. The stay at that hotel was excellent. I highly recommend it, and it's right in the middle of everything. You're right there in the middle of everything. So now the other coffee shop experience was the Starbucks Reserve. In November of 2019, the Chicago Reserve and Roastery opened in the city's Magnificent Mile. Being in the middle of it all and bringing a true specialty coffee experience to its guests makes this location a coffee lover's dream. With its 5 levels of bars and beautifully, uniquely designed spaces, it makes this the world's largest Starbucks. At every Reserve location, being that it is a true roastery, you can purchase whole bean, freshly roasted specialty coffee to take home. Every one of the 5 levels of the Chicago Reserve offers its guests something different. Make sure to take a look at the rooftop terrace located at level 5 and, weather permitting, enjoy your coffee up there taking in the sights. The Reserve not only offers a great selection of coffees and coffee experiences, but also an equal choice of food offerings and fresh pastries to pair with your favorite coffee drink. Now, having been to the Seattle and Chicago locations, I have to admit that their service, product, and attention to detail makes the Starbucks Reserve a true must-see and destination for any coffee aficionado. Their Reserve is not your usual Starbucks. It is a different animal altogether, and in my opinion, a coffee lover's must-see. We have so far visited the one in Seattle, Washington, and now we went to the Chicago one. Now, the Chicago one is the biggest one in the world. They have like 5 stories, I think it was, and 2 of the floors are pretty much the same as far as I could tell. Then they had like the upper floor was like a bar setup where you can have cocktails and things like that. And they have an outside sitting area, and that was very, very beautiful. And I believe it was on the bottom floor where they had the roasters, and you could see, some of the specialty items that they offer in their little shop. Well, not so little, in the shop. The Starbucks Reserve is like a totally different animal versus like regular Starbucks. Full-blown Starbucks Reserve like this one in Chicago, and the one in Seattle, Washington as well. It's a totally different animal. They have like true specialty coffee. You can buy whole beans. You can ask them like freshly roasted. I mean, less than a month. So, this Starbucks Reserves, if you haven't been to one, definitely make it a point to go to one. It's just, it's an experience. I absolutely loved it. Just like the one in Seattle. My wife loved it as well, and it was right down the street from the hotel, so we ended up going twice. And I gotta say, I don't regret it. It was beautiful and an experience. The coffee that we had in Seattle, though, just talking about the coffee, there's just the black drip coffee that pour over that I had. The one in Seattle was better. In Seattle, we had that cow Hawaiian coffee, and it was spectacular. Very sweet, super nice. The one we had here, I don't recall what it was. If I find the picture, I'll put it here on the screen so you guys could see what the coffee was. I don't recall anymore. But it was okay. Let's put it that way. It was okay. Definitely better than what you would get from like a regular Starbucks coffee, but not to the level of what we're used to here. Okay, so look at what we're comparing against. So, the cow one does deserve to be up here with these guys. But the one I had there, that was the lightest one that they were roasting at that time when I visited. So I had that one both times I was there. The milk drinks are always good. They don't expect to have like, the correct ratios if you ask for like a cappuccino or a cortado. I mean, they just put a whole bunch of milk, I think, on all of them. I don't know. Is there a difference? I've asked for a couple of them, couple different ones, and I haven't noticed. I think they just you know, they go based on the size. You want like the large one or the medium one, and then there's just, so the ratio is out the window, right, when you do it that way. So, but yeah, but the flavor-wise is great. Okay, they do a great job. Those machines are, you know, dialed in to do a perfect job every time. So it's gonna be delicious. Also, the pastries and everything that they have to offer there, it's you know, you just gotta see it. You gotta go and visit one. It was great. The other spot that we went to was a Hero Coffee, and Hero has several locations, but I wanted to go to the one particular one that I'm gonna show you a picture of here. That location, well, first of all, we followed the GPS, okay, and we went walking because it wasn't too far, and we're just walking around and taking in the sights. So, but when we walked out to this coffee shop, it just so happens that you know, we happened to look across the street at something else that was on the other side, and we just passed right by it. The alleyway where this thing is in, it is unbelievably small. The alleyway is maybe 12 feet wide, so you take like 4 steps and you're past it. You just missed it. So we were looking on the other side of the street and completely passed by it, and the GPS is saying that we're there, but we don't see it. You know, I ran around down an alley because I thought maybe it's down this alley, and then like you got to go like halfway and then you see it off to the right or left or something, but that was not it. And so I walked down the alley for nothing. My wife was laughing at me. She's like, absolutely not. Like, how are they going to stick this thing? You got to walk through all this dirty water to get to it. You know, I didn't know. And we walked around and looked and we couldn't find it. Eventually, we started walking back and then we see it, you know. Like I said, it's an unbelievably small alley, so it just didn't make sense. You couldn't see there was something there. Like you would see one building and then you would see the other building. It didn't seem like anything would fit there. And we were at the corner, which is where the GPS was saying that it's at. It was saying at the corner. So we looked around there and couldn't find it. And then on the way back is when we finally see it. So it's just an interesting story. It's very Instagrammable. I mean, you guys see the pictures. I loved it. I loved it. I had a straight espresso. They, you know, traditional type of roast level and kind of like what I like. It was very well made. It was delicious. So yeah, you know, that coffee shop is pretty cool, pretty cool. If I lived in Chicago, I would try to frequent the spot if I was not too far from it. So if you're ever in the area, try to check them out. The other place I wanted to go was Inteligencia, but just, you know, again, you know, I was with my wife. She has her own agenda of things that she wants to do and see. We didn't have a lot of time. Remember, one day went entirely for the Coffee Expo, and we spent the whole day in the Coffee Expo. So the other like day and a half that we had there just didn't get around to making it out there. You know, I don't know if we were close to it or not. I didn't even look. It was just, we went from one thing to another, and just the day went. So that's pretty much, by now I pretty much have shown you guys like everything I wanted to show you from the Chicago trip. If there's anything that you want me to still show or talk about, let me know. The Chicago, I love Chicago. The experience was wonderful. I think one full day at the expo is enough. If you can obviously spend like a whole week vacation and go to the expo on the weekend and then have another 3 or 4 days to do other things around town, then that would be like ideal. Something else I should mention, like if you guys been to Chicago, I'm sure you've been to the Navy Pier. The Navy Pier has completely changed. Like the last time I was there, I think it was like 10 years ago or something like that. So it's been quite a while. And the Navy Pier, it was kind of empty, and it not that it wasn't kept up. It just looked like something was going on. And maybe they were refurbishing the place and maybe getting permits to do what's been done to it, because after the Ferris wheel on the Navy Pier, there's a hotel now, and everything on the bottom is full with places to eat. It's like a giant food court and wonderful. I mean, it's great. And then at the end, there's a venue there, like some kind of shows. I don't recall exactly right now what it was, but if I find a picture that relates to what was going on, I'll put it here. But yeah, there are shows there. There's that ballroom at the end where you could have parties and I guess weddings and things like that. They have the hotel and then the gigantic food court and the garden upstairs, that what do you call it, the giant greenhouse that's being redone and is closed, so we couldn't see that. I saw it last time, but it is beautiful. I had never seen like people at the little beach, because the last time when I was there was wintertime and there was obviously nobody at the little beach. But this time, there were people. I mean, compared to Miami Beach, which is miles and miles and miles, it looks small to me, but that's their little beach there. It was full. It was a lot of people there. It looked like fun. I wonder how. Well, I did touch the water. It was quite cold still. But yeah, the little beach was happening. And there was a lot of people riding bikes, a lot of, just very lively, a lot going on. So the Navy Pier is booming now. It's like completely redone and something that definitely you have to see it. There's so many places to eat and things to do in there that it's definitely more of a destination nowadays. So yeah, it was a shame we didn't make it out to Intelligentsia, which is headquartered there in Chicago. I believe that's where they started, and there's still shops there. But, maybe next time, right? There's always next time. Also, the area where the Bean is, that was being refurbished, and they were doing a lot of fixing up and stuff. The park looked beautiful, though. There was a lot of flowers, and it was very, very nice. The park was full of flowers, but unfortunately, the little area where the Bean is, that was closed off, and we couldn't get any nice pictures there. We did the last time. As far as Chicago pizza, I'm always talking about ice cream and pizza, right? I'm a huge fan. So Chicago style pizza is, maybe my favorite. I love it. I know that a lot of people like that, like thin and not a lot of toppings, but Chicago is all about the deep dish and the toppings. And if I find a picture, I'll show you guys the Giordano's we had. I know Giordano's is like a chain, and people say, oh, it's not the best. I think it's delicious. I think it's great. I've had a bunch of other places in Chicago, and I still like Giordano's like the best. Now, I wanted to make it out to one specific one. I can't remember the name. I'll look it up and put it here on the screen so you guys could see. I wanted to make it there, but they only have 2 locations, and it's really far. It was really far. We didn't have a rental car this time. We took the train into the downtown area, and then we took Ubers or whatever, and we didn't drive this time. So, we didn't have the means to get out there, or we would have had to get an Uber just to go have some pizza when there was tons of like great pizza all around us. So we didn't make it out to the place. Again, maybe next time. All right, so enough chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and open that other bag of SEY and see what it's got in store for us. We're gonna pull a shot of espresso and see if the stars align once again and see what we get from it. Let's go.
in the morning, or I'll be gone. Pouring rain, wanna hear that train. There she comes, won't you get on? Won't you get on?
All right, here we go. So what are the chances we're gonna get another perfect shot of espresso? I would say slim to none, but let's see. As long as we get at least something very, very good, I'll be happy. Okay, you guys saw the unboxing last time. They keep it pretty minimal as far as on the box itself. They give you a little card that tells you absolutely everything about this coffee. So if you're into finding out about the origin, the producer, how it is that they process this coffee, everything will be here on this card. I'm gonna put it off to the side because I don't wanna run into the tasting notes, because you guys know that I always guess at them, and it's part of the fun of the whole thing. Is just trying to find the flavors that are hidden in the coffee that make it unique, let's say, that make it unique. All right, let's get this open. Okay, first we check the roast level. I imagine this is another Ethiopian. As a matter of fact, when we first set out on this journey, part of the reason was that I wanted to try different Ethiopians to see if there was, if they would be very diverse, if there would be a lot of difference between the different coffees. I imagine that they would be, but it is turning out to be even more diverse than I expected. So far, all of them have been very unique and different. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what this one gives us. I know SEY, they like to roast pretty light, so I imagine it being pretty much like the other coffee. And yes, it looks at least as light as the other one, maybe even lighter. Wow, these are some tiny beans, really small beans. You know, usually it is a theory of mine, which I know is not a thing, it's just something I made up, but it is a theory of mine that these small beans, they pack more flavor. There's more of a punch to the coffees that have the little tiny beans. Who knows? Maybe there's something to that. In my experience, it's kind of turned out that way, but you know, I doubt it. I think that's just something I made up. All right, let's get a little bit more on here. Then I'll turn on the lights and show it to you guys. And like always, I will take a picture and show you guys a close-up of it. All right, let's see. Let me turn on the lights. Okay, there you see it. What do you guys think? It is a pretty light roast. All right, I'll take the picture and put it here for you guys. All right, so I already picked up everything. There's 17.2 already in the cup, so we're almost at 18 grams. Just a little bit more. Okay, went a little bit over. $17.9. I have a feeling that'll be between numbers. Okay, I'm between 18 and 18.1. We're gonna roll with this. You know, we're gonna use the niche 0 again at 13, the same grind size that worked for the previous coffee, the other one, and we'll see what we get on this one. I'm gonna shoot for the same exact thing, one of those Slayer shots, 30-second pre-infusion, 30 seconds at 9 bars. It turned out to be mind-blowing last time, so why not go for the same thing again? So let's go ahead. We're gonna grind at size 13. Wow, I almost, if I don't switch out the cups, the two cups look identical, but they don't weigh the same. So if I would have ground the coffee into the other one, my whole thing would have been off. All right, let me show you guys that. Okay, so there you see once again the roast level. You see that we are at grind size 13. There you see it. And here we go. Okay, one more time. Tap the spout. And let's see, we were right at between 18 and 18.1. See, and again, exactly what we put in is what we got out, 18.1. You know this little cup, well, you guys, I've told you guys about this dripper before. That dripper is from that company Magnolia. It was a gift from my wife. She bought it at Target. And this little dripper is pretty cool. You know, I use it whenever I make a small, let's say I have only like 10 grams left, 8 grams, 12 grams. I kind of like using it because it's small and shallow, and it's perfect for brewing very small batches, you know, very small quantities of coffee. And this little cup here, you see there from the Starbucks Reserve in Seattle, Washington. So we brought back that little cup from there. Again, they have a lot of nice little, oh, you know what? Maybe not. I gotta ask my wife. Maybe not. That could be from the original Starbucks, which is at the market. What do they call it? I'll put it here. I can, you know, I wasn't thinking about that at all, so it slips my mind. But that could be from the original Starbucks where we bought this little cup. I can't remember. I'll ask my wife. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some Pug Prep. Okay, so actually that original Starbucks is not really the original. Where they very first spot that they opened, that I don't remember why they had to move out of that spot and move down the street to where they're at now. It's like the same store relocated, right? So it is the oldest Starbucks that you could visit, and they call it the original one, although it did get moved. So, but if you ever go to Seattle, it's definitely something that you should visit. It's right there at the market, so everybody goes to the market. It's beautiful, it's super neat, lots of things to eat and try there, so everyone always goes. Okay, I'm just making sure my focus is locked. I think we are good to go. Okay, there's dry, there's no condensation. No, we should be good. Again, grind size 13. We'll see if it works out for this for this coffee. We could be totally off. Let me reposition the phone. Put it here for the rest of the Pug Prep. Dosing ring, WDT. Again, with the WDT, just take your time, make circles, start at the bottom, come all the way up. You kind of want to move the coffee around to make sure you have even density everywhere. If you have some clumps, it will declump your coffee, but usually I declump it in the cup, and the niche 0 doesn't give you any clumps anyway, so it's not something I need to worry about, but it's part of the process. Okay, let me get a nice tamp on there. Okay, that's perfectly level. Do a nice little polish. We didn't get any coffee up this time. So I think this Pug Prep is pretty darn good. Let's drop the Pug screen. Let me see. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect job today. So let's lock in and pull a shot and see what happens. Oh, you know what? I remembered. So let's run it a little bit. Okay, put the paddle at 5 o'clock. Come in and dry it. Lock in. Okay, we're ready to go. All right, folks, here we go. I should have all the cameras running here. Start the Akaya. Boom, we're ready. Let me reposition this a little bit. Okay, right there, we're at 5 o'clock. Let's go. Okay, so 30-second pre-infusion, 30-second at 9 bar. I'm looking for a 1 to 2.5 ratio, so 18 grams of ground coffee to 45 grams of liquid coming out. Okay, there we are, right at 2.5. So we haven't gotten any drips. I'm starting to get a little scared. Maybe we are too fine. Okay, it's dripping. 29. All right, here we go. Let's go to 9 bar. This could turn out perfect. We'll see. Okay, being that I didn't open the paddle much, I have a feeling this coffee's too fine. Okay, now I'm starting to open it up a little bit more. So again, a 60-second shot is total overall shot is what I was looking for, but we're definitely going over that. This being a lighter roast coffee and being that I brew at around probably 85 degrees, something like that, my actual brew temperature might be okay. Okay, I stopped it at 45.2. 55 seconds since first drip, 82 seconds overall, so we're like 20 seconds overshot it, but let's taste it. If the shot is good, that's the main thing, and I don't throw away good coffee. So let me stop the Akaya and the camera, and then I'll taste it. Get the scale out of here. Now, as far as channeling, I don't think we had any channeling. Everything looks really nice and clean as it usually does. Let's taste it, see what we got here. I have a feeling this is gonna be just fine for me. It might not be at its best, but for me, I think, I think it's gonna be just fine. Let's see. Wow, very unique flavor. I don't know what to say. Definitely good, really, really good. The other one was better. The other one was perfect. This one is really good, but okay, let me see. There's a little harshness to it, probably because again, it's a little over extracted. I will admit it, but wow, I don't want to throw this away. This is, this is pretty darn good. You know what? Why don't we do what Off With Their Heads suggested, and we turn it into an Americano? I mean, it's a great shot of coffee, and I hate to do this to you guys, but hey, we never make an Americano, so maybe we should do that today. So let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, I would absolutely drink this just like this. For milk, this has a bit too much going on for me. The flavor profile, just as the straight shot, it's let me see. Wow, it's very tangy, very tangy. I would say this, to me, has a citrus note. It does have the citrus note. Wow, you know, a lot of these Ethiopians have that kind of brightness, like citrusy, kind of like, but it's still sweet. It's sweet, but definitely I would call it like a citrus note, a sweeter type citrus. Maybe like, again, last time I think we had, what was it, like a lemonade? It said like a, you know, and I thought it was a very good descriptor. I would say kind of the same thing with this one. Somewhat citrusy. Now there is a little bit of a harshness to it. Okay, no saltiness, none of that, but a lot of tanginess, like, could we say the red currant? Maybe like the red currant, like some berryness, tart berries, or some kind of citrusness. Definitely I would say a citrus note. And the sweetness, I don't know, fruity type of sweetness. I would not say like honey or like the sugar note or none of that. Caramel, you know, maybe a touch of like salted caramel. Although, like I said, there's very little saltiness kind of thing going on. But you might be able to say that. Now, overall, I would say it's a citrusy coffee. Fruity. There's some berry tartness up front for sure. And that's what I'm going with. And you know what? I I drank like half of it already. Is it worth mixing with some water? I don't want to mess it up. I think I could weigh it, because an Americano, I believe, is a 1 to 5. So let's weigh it and let's see if we can make that work. Okay, how do I do that with the setup, the camera setup that I got going on here? I don't want to start over again. So let's see. Let's try something. Let me put the scale up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna have to, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'll make my Americano here on my cappuccino cup. So let me give myself a little bit of room there in the corner. Okay, so I'm gonna tear this out and I'm gonna put a little bit of coffee that's left here. I almost drank it all already. Like I said, it's a nice shot. I'm not gonna throw this away. There's no way. Okay, so we have 24.5 grams. So maybe some of you guys are good enough at math to do the math for me, but I'm not. So 20, well, we could say that's 25. So that's easy math, right? That's 125. We have to put 125 grams of water. Maybe I'll just do 100. What about we do 100 grams? That's what, as a matter of fact, that's what I think off with their head said, that he usually adds 100 grams. You know what? I'm gonna follow his formula. I hope the GoPro doesn't overheat and does something weird. Let me get some of this hot water out of here. Okay. All right, so let's get some more here. I don't know, let's see how much this is. Now, I need 100 grams of water, which is the same thing as 100 milliliters. Okay. Okay, let me go slow because I don't want to overshoot it. Okay. Boy, I'm making a mess. You guys just don't see it. I think you don't see it, but okay, that's close enough, right? That'll be a little bit strong. Let's do another little drop. All right, 106, 107. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm gonna stir it up, and then we're gonna have an Americano today. I think that's something new on the channel here, so why not mix it up a little bit? All right, let me set things up on the other counter and pick it up with you guys in a minute. Okay, so here we have it. Let's give it a taste. You know, it's a bit hot. I can't, I should have used, I didn't know I was gonna make an Americano. I think if I were to make an Americano, I would just heat up water on my kettle and use water from the kettle instead of the hot water spout, because it's just like way too hot. Of course, it's more like filter coffee, right? It's more diluted. But the flavor profile, I would keep it the same. That tartness. Wow, I think this one might be better than the first one as far as pour over. So the flavor profile, I would say, is the same thing, like citrusy. Yeah, and as pour over, I think I might end up liking this coffee even more than the first one. The espresso shot, yes, I overshot what I was going for. So that was a grind size 13. I think I'll try again, maybe at 16, 3 notches, and speed it up quite a bit and report back to you guys. So, like I said, the other SEY coffee, as pour over, it was nothing spectacular, but it was very good. I think this one might be a little bit better. As far as espresso, fantastic. I mean, for those of you guys that enjoy like light roast for espresso, that's gonna be just delicious, very good. This one I'll try again and report back. But as far as pour over, kind of the flavor profile, maybe I might like this one more. We'll see. By the way, that one kind of like my normal brewing style, shooting for around 3.5 minutes, like somewhere in the middle of the grind sizes that I usually go with. It's very typical of what I get on most lighter roast coffees. And yeah, I could brew it on the Origami or the Steadfast or any one of the brewers. I would just adjust a little bit on the grind size depending on the brewer that I'm using, and control the rest of the flow with just the agitation. But you can get a really nice coffee from it, for sure. This one I'll report back, but let's read the tasting notes. Okay, so again, I said citrusy, right? Like berry tartness up front. And perhaps I could see like somebody throwing in the salted caramel in there. There's a slight saltiness, but but not really. I'm gonna scratch that. I don't think there's no way like. No, as an Americano, it's just perfectly smooth. There's no saltiness at all. There's a lot of like brightness and berry tartness up front as espresso. So that's what led me to say that, because I scratch that. No caramel. Just fruitiness, berry tartness up front, but citrusy coffee. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, again, I will put the little card front and back on the screen here for you guys. So if you want to, there's a lot of information here. Obviously, I didn't read it previously because, again, I don't want to run into the tasting notes because I want to guess at it. But I'll put it here for you guys. If you're interested, you can look through that, pause the video and look at it. Okay, so what does it say? It's a honey Ethiopian. So this one's not washed. This is a honey process. Okay, this is our first attempt at making a honey process at Danche. I guess probably Danche is the farm, and the experiment really paid off. This lot is clean, articulate, and very expressive. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to pause the video right here for just 1 second to make a clarification. This is a different day. I am in the process of recording another video, but I have to include a small clip to clarify something here. Hopefully you guys don't think that I'm losing my mind, but in a minute, you're gonna hear me read the tasting notes and you're gonna hear me say nectarine. Now, although I said nectarine, and that's what it says on the card, it says nectarine, for some reason in my mind, because I thought for sure what I'm tasting is like some kind of sweet citrus, in my mind, it was mandarin. Okay, although I read nectarine, but in my mind, I'm thinking the whole time mandarin. So, two completely different fruits. Okay, a nectarine is more like a peach. They do have some tartness if you get them when they're really firm, which by the way is the way I like to eat them. I don't like to let them get completely ripe. I like them a little bit tart. So you have to eat them when they're still really firm. Now, as far as a mandarin orange, it's a completely different thing. That is a citrus and a sweet citrus. So, for sure, I thought that's what I was tasting. So therefore, my mind, although I read nectarine, my mind is thinking mandarin, and I thought I nailed it. So please forgive me, guys. I did not nail it. Regardless, I'm gonna stick to that because, by now I have brewed this coffee. Which one is it? This one at the end. Okay, this one here at the end. By now I have brewed this coffee quite a few more times. I have brewed it faster and slower. I have made it as pour over. And I have to say that definitely this one I liked better as pour over. Not by a lot, but I did like it better as pour over. As a matter of fact, just as pour over, this is the best coffee of all of these, okay, in my opinion. As espresso, nothing compares to this one. This one here is next level as espresso. It was just mind-blowing. Now, to make milk drinks, this would be my preference. Again, more traditional, those chocolate and caramel notes. Although I can't say it completely lived up to what I thought I was going to be seeing here, it got close enough that to mix with milk, this would still be my favorite. Okay, so, but overall, I think, should I say that? No, not really. For espresso, definitely this is my favorite one. For pour overs, by a slight margin, this one. So it's really hard to call. The Good Brothers Ethiopian was excellent. The Awanda coffee, actually, if you want more highs and lows, the Awanda one is probably could be your favorite. You can push it the hardest from all of these. You can really extract it really well and get maybe the most highs and lows. The other coffees, maybe a little bit more delicate flavors and You know, I like them all. I like them all, but I do have to say that the SEY one was, the SEY coffees were pretty special. And this one being the, you know, to me, I'm still gonna say that it's citrusy. For sure, to me, I'm gonna stand by the tasting notes that you heard me guess here on the video, and not exactly by what is promised on the card, which is more like stone fruit, like nectarine, peaches, and that kind of stuff. I thought, you know, that's the one thing in common from all the Ethiopians. I set out to try to see if there was like a big difference in Ethiopian coffees. I figured that there would be, okay? And I have to say that they were even a little bit more diverse than I was expecting. But the one thing that they seemed to have in common was that citrus note, because I kind of got a little bit of that from the Good Brothers and from the two SEY coffees. The Awanda was not like citrusy, but I do have to say that from all these coffees up here, that's the one thing that maybe they did have in common, was like a citrus note. So that being said, let's go back to what I recorded and me losing my mind. So you're gonna hear me say that I nailed it, but I didn't really nail it. It is nectarine, and that's a stone fruit, not really, not mandarin, which is what I was thinking, which is a citrus. Anyway, back to the video. In the cup we find, oh, here we go. Ripe berries, lively acidity, and nectarine. Oh, what, you know, man. Okay, I could not have done any better. Okay, I said berryness, tartness up front, and then a citrus note, nectarine. I nailed it. Come on, guys, I nailed it. Oh, man. Wow, you know? So every now and then, I nailed it. So, wow, that was perfect. You know, off with their heads. Cheers. I think you were the one that suggested making the Americano. Good call, buddy. This is spot on. It's perfect. You know, an Americano is somewhat like drip coffee, but it is different, okay? Different mouthfeel. It's different. Try it. If you guys make espresso and pour-overs, but never really get into Americanos, you know, it's worth definitely, you know what, maybe it's gonna become a thing here on the channel. I don't know. But you know, the thing is that I've been getting into the straight espressos and enjoying them so much. You guys saw I almost drank the whole thing. But wow, this is spot on. You know what, with a double shot of espresso, only 100 milliliters or 100 grams of water, you know, off with their heads, I think that the ratio there it's gonna be a little bit strong, no? I don't know. Right here, I had already drank a lot of the coffee, and I still put just over 100 grams, and I think this is pretty spot on. I don't know. From what I remember, I think it's supposed to be a 1 to 5. You guys let me know. Comment below. Anyway, thank you for spending the time here with me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the last of our little Chicago experience. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the pictures and the little story. You know, comment if there's something that I maybe talked a little bit about and then just didn't elaborate further, but you guys want to know something specific. Comment below, and we'll bring it back in another video next time and talk about it. Pretty soon, I am pretty much caught up as to like having enough videos on the pipeline to feel comfortable, like so I can do other experiments. So pretty soon, I think I'm gonna do that cleaning of the grinders and aligning them and showing you guys all of that. Oh, I gotta show you the little vacuum that I got to clean them out, which is also, you know, I'm glad I got it. And I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did in the first clip, that I already froze 100, oh, it wasn't 100. Yeah, there's just not a lot of coffee left. I mean, I think I froze like 80 grams of the SEY coffee to move forward. Unless this one beats it, the one we tried today beats it, definitely not as espresso. It will not beat it as espresso. I don't think you can do any better than that. Maybe we'll equal it, but I don't think we'll beat it. But as pour over, there's a chance this one might actually be better. So I really like what I'm tasting here. Yes, delicious. All right, anyway, enough chit-chatting. Thank you guys for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.